Good morning. I'm Heather, and I felt inspired to do another episode of Based on a True Story, some of my Alaska stories, my growing up experiences. But today is a special edition because what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a story that my mother wrote. So, I think it's, oh, hi, Mom, you're on now. Okay, I'm going to try really hard not to cry because I just think this story is so beautiful. But first I have to show you some pictures of my mom. Dude, I'm really looking forward to having my mom on live with me sometime so that she can tell some of her stories, because if you think my stories are crazy, you have no idea how insanely amazing my mom's stories are. Okay, so here's a couple of pictures. So there's her and I together. I'm probably 14 or so. I don't know. Oh, shoot, this one's not focusing. I'm sorry. No, that's a bad picture. I'm sorry, Mom. That's not a great one. Okay, these ones are great. All right, I love this photo. Look how beautiful she is. So she's, I don't know. How old were you there, Mom? I don't know. Young, like maybe 30, I don't know. And then there's her with probably Tom, so that's probably 1980, that photo there. Okay, all right, so Mom wrote this story for one of the photo albums I made for my daughter for Christmas. This was from 2013, and so this is a true story that my mom wrote. Based on a true story. Oh, it's Tom. Okay, thanks, Mom. All right, so it's called The Coyote by Bear. There's a whole story about why my mom's name is Bear, but we'll go into that later. Once upon a time, there was a woman, a girl, really. She lived in the bush country of a faraway land, and she spent her days working, tending her children, milking her lovely goats, collecting eggs from her friendly chickens, chopping the wood to keep her family warm and cook their food, tending the vegetables guarded by the 5-foot fencing. It was peaceful most of the time, and she felt a contentment knowing what needed to be done to fill her children's bellies with healthy, vibrant food. One evening when the work was done and it was time to be inside, she stood looking out her kitchen window. Far up in the hand-planted field of bright green hay, she saw a golden being sitting there, still and alert, in a shaft of sunlight, so she seemed to glow. Her ears were pointing up and towards the people's place. Her eyes were dark and shining in her golden face. She was waiting for the people and their tame dogs to be inside. She sat waiting, proud, but aware of the woman's awareness. Finally, when the time was right, she lifted herself up and trotted to the chicken's pen. Somehow she knew not to take the precious laying hens. She only took a meat chicken. Of course it was spring. She had babies to feed. She was so polite. She never took too many, and she waited until we were all settled so as not to scare the human pups. She moved so silently that the fierce dogs were not even disturbed by her harvesting of that single chicken. After that, year after year, she existed with the family, only taking what she needed, never rude in her need. She was the silent, peaceful coyote sitting at the edge of their lives. Year after year, the woman brought her chickens, knowing the karmic debt she owed, coexisting in symbiotic perfectness. Isn't that such a beautiful story? Like, I tell my mom all the time, like, write down your stories. I'm such a good writer. So sometimes I'll get this surprise email of this story that she's remembered. And, so I'll get Mom's permission. There's also this book that Mom wrote that I've never been able to bring myself to read because I know that there's a lot of really scary stories in it. And it's the story of when Mom and her husband, Rod, took their sailboat right after right after I got married. They left on their sailboat for a couple of years and went to Mexico, and she wrote about all of her adventures. And because of my experiences as a kid on the water in boats, one of my deepest fears is about boats in the high seas, and the chance of sinking, and so because of that fear, I haven't been able to read my mother's stories. So I guess I'm asking, and Mom, you can think about it. You don't have to answer in this moment, but what I'd like to do is maybe I'll do a video series of reading your stories that you wrote when you were on your trip to Mexico, so that I'm not alone. Y'all come follow along. So think about it, Mom, and let me know if I can read your epic adventure to Mexico book, and all those stories. Okay. Time with me. It's time for me to move on with my next segment of my day. Oh, but let me show you a couple things. So see this angel way up? I can't figure out how to point her out. She's up here in the corner. Sorry. Anyway, the angel that's in the corner of the camera screen, that was my grandmother's tree topper, and it's so old that under her skirt is this plastic, cone to hold her skirt. Oh yay, great, Mom's gonna let me read the stories, so good, I'll start doing that. But it's so brittle because it's so old, and so I needed something to prop her up. So I have some little Santas like this. So I put a Santa up her skirt, and it fits perfectly. So the angel's sitting on a Santa head. I think that's hilarious. And then oh good, I can point at him. The Santa there is from my former mother-in-law. She had this whole collection of really beautiful Santas that were Scottish, and that was the one that I got to keep. Okay, and then on my tree there's all these pictures of my kid, at all the different ages. And so when her friends were helping her decorate the tree, they were fucking having a great time looking at the little photos of my daughter at different ages. Oh, it cracks me up. All right. Well, I'm off. I hope you have a radically pleasurable day, because I know I will. Love you.